I'm exhausted, brother. I haven't slept in like 5 days.
No, yeah, I'm also similarly exhausted. Yeah.
Did you? Because you got sick.
I got sick, yeah. And then on Friday, I was out until 3 a.m.
What were you doing?
Went to a show. Brant was there.
Brant was at the show?
It was a good show.
Yeah.
What? I heard about the show, I guess, but I was a little late to jump in on it.
Yeah, well...
Yeah, because you weren't there.
Yeah. The thing is, this happens when you have a dog, right?
It's true. Yeah.
Is you can't just hang.
Well, it's more of it was a long week, and so I was like, yeah, do I really want to go to a show?
It was a long week for all of us, but I went to a show.
I stayed there longer than Shad.
He did. He was there longer.
Why do I often feel like you guys are like the who's who of this area. You're going to all these events, and I hear about them afterwards. What is it about me that's so unappealing that I just don't hear about these things?
There's nothing unappealing about you. You're cozy. You've got a dog. You've got a yard.
It's because you say no.
There's nothing unappealing about you, but there's nothing appealing about you.
You say no. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like I started getting invited to more things when I started saying yes to more things.
Yeah, I started saying yes to everything.
Because when you're like, I've had a long day, then people don't want to ask you anymore.
Is he making a good observation here?
Honestly,
that person.
When you text me, that's how I read it.
You just add that little bit.
Just a little bit.
I've had a rough day at work.
But I have a tough life.
My dog.
I don't have a tough life. I just got a low tolerance for tough things.
Yeah, I just don't think I think you're not on people's short list when it comes to who's going to be ready to party down at a moment's notice.
It's true.
You also live further than everybody else.
Yeah, I live 15 minutes away.
That's far from the party.
Yeah. Well, so Brant keeps saying this, right? Okay, let's talk about this. Every time I want to get together with Brant, so he always got to go over to his place. He's got to go to his place because he doesn't have to leave. He doesn't have to put pants on, right?
Well, I'm usually wearing pants when you get there.
I know, yeah.
So they're on.
But it's like all of a sudden I'm 15 minutes away from where a lot of people in this area live, and then all of a sudden I'm just ostracized in my own little compound here.
It depends on the kind of city that you live in. Like town, we don't live in a city.
No.
The kind of town that you live in, because I used to live in Washington D.C. And when you're living in Washington D.C., being 20 minutes away from somebody, it was like you were next door neighbors.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially if that was how it was walking or by train or whatever. But for some reason, the second that you move out into the wilderness, it's like 15 minutes. You got to drive 45 minutes to get to a Dick's Sporting Goods, but it's 15 minutes to go see your friends is apparently too much time.
But I think it's the disconnect where the city sort of stops, there's some farm fields, and then another one.
Yeah.
That's what makes it seem like it's so far. We're changing scenery.
There's a lot of agriculture between you and I.
You're trekking
at any given time. Mm-hmm. So, well, hey, I freaking pulled the greatest trick of the century, and I had this podcast recorded here in my basement, so I have to come all the way out.
That's what happens when you're the only guy who has a basement.
Hell yeah.
I have a basement, but you don't want to do this in there.
No, you got a Michigan basement.
Oh, yeah.
No, we got freaking Brant Cohen in the studio, everybody. Here to talk about his allegations.
Yes. Brant Cohen is here to address the allegations.
But, we don't want to talk about the really serious stuff until we get to the Patreon.
Yeah, right. We'll save that for later.
That's for those who want to pay for it.
If you have any, serious questions about Brant and the way that he lives his life or anything along those lines that you might disagree with, then...
about particular emails that he may or may not have received
or sent.
Definitely didn't.
Sent
maybe, but didn't receive.
Okay.
I have to say, Brant, I don't want the interview on the Patreon to be a gotcha. So I'm just going to let you know now, here, and for all the non-Patreon people, what we're going to be bringing up. First off, we have photos from the Chechnya Vacation. I'm just going to say that right away. So we're going to have to
show them up on the TV.
Could you send those to me? Because they didn't make their way to me.
The photographer I paid has not sent those over email.
Yeah, so we have the Chechnya Vacation. We have some of the emails, and also we have all of your purchasing records from various, exotic wildlife organizations, and your donations to the WWF and other animal rights organizations. I'm not going to make any insinuations, but to cover up the fact that you are purchasing large quantities of exotic animals.
Yeah, there's a perfectly good story for all of it. Get to the Patreon. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, okay.
Don't worry. It'll all tie together.
Did you break your voice there on purpose?
I have.
That was pretty good.
I'm just going through puberty again.
Yeah. I mean, hey. What's the height going to come in?
I'm still waiting, let me tell you.
Oh, goodness. No, it's great to have you, dude.
It's good to be here.
Yeah. I mean, sadly, a lot of people aren't going to care about this, who are listening. But you're going to be leaving this town soon. You're going to be leaving off back into Chicago, where you hail from.
Yeah.
Chicagoland, not
Chicagoland.
We wanted to get you on the pod.
Or as the locals call it, Chi-Town.
Or Chirac, or I call it home.
Was that documentary like a huge?
It's not a documentary.
It wasn't.
No,
it was a movie.
It's a parody of the rape of the Sabine women. You don't know this?
Wait, that wasn't a documentary? No, that was something that happened.
No, I thought it was more of a documentary.
No, it's not.
I didn't watch it.
It's not no, it's not the rape of the Sabine women. There's a play. There's a Greek play.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It's
not a parody.
No, not a parody. It's a dramatic reinterpretation.
I thought
it's not a documentary.
Josh, look this up. Jamie, look it up. Is freaking Chirac a documentary?
It's
not.
Not
I thought that happened in real life.
No.
And it was a documentary about that very thing.
Do you think that every woman in Chicago said, I'm not going to have sex with my husband / boyfriend so that they stop gun violence? Do you think that really happened?
Gun violence is pretty bad. People do whatever it takes.
Yeah, exactly.
As soon as it's getting out of hand.
You wouldn't do that? You wouldn't make that sacrifice? All right. Jamie, what's up? Dude, Josh.
Okay, so...
we can't hear you.
Yeah, you can. You can hear it on the freaking after.
It is a 2015 American musical crime comedy drama film.
Yes.
Directed and produced by Spike Lee.
A lot of words, but no documentary in that one.
Yeah. Hang on. There is also a documentary from Vice of the same name.
Okay.
Which is totally what Dylan was talking about.
Absolutely.
Exactly
Absolutely.
what I was thinking of.
Gosh.
So obviously, because you haven't seen it, Chirac did not make an enormous cultural
No,
impact.
it was on the news, but nobody watched it.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Like Spike Lee. You may know him from Do the Right Thing if you're a white person. And many more films if you're a black person.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, there you go.
I've seen Do the Right Thing.
Yeah.
I'm an ally.
Did it incentivize you to do the right thing?
It's good. It's more like it's more nuanced. It's one of those things. It's one of those movies that asks a lot of questions and doesn't provide any real answers.
Mm-hmm.
It's very senseless. A lot of Italians and black people yelling at each other.
It's my favorite genre.
Someone throws a trash can through a window.
Favorite genre of found footage.
Black people and Italian people yelling at each other.
You know one of my favorite things about the Chicago area in the winter? Yeah, you talk about trash cans going through people's windows.
Yeah.
What happens in the winter, you work really hard to shovel off your parking spot in the street.
Yeah.
And so people will put any sort of possession they have there to try to mark it. And, it can be a trash can, it can be a folding chair, a barbecue grill, some cones, even like a bookshelf kind of stacked together with some folding chairs, whatever it takes to make that your area.
Yeah.
And if you move that, you'll find that object in your window.
That's really, yeah, I mean, that's Chicago.
That's the way
baby.
it is.
Yeah.
That's Chicago. No, I mean, I've heard that goes all year round, though. Like, you can see that in the summer. Or is that not true? Is it mostly winter?
It's mostly winter. And I know that because every winter on the news, they'd always say, and the chairs are back out. So everybody knows this is not, no one's getting ready for parade.
Yeah. Oh, goodness.
Yeah. In the news when I was living in D.C., what we got was the cicadas are back.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly,
everybody was talking about the cicadas this year, right? It was
Summer. It was super low key.
Yeah,
I mean, I was there during the cicada geddon. I was told there was people who were like, you're gonna be walking outside and you're gonna breathe in. And there's going to be cicadas in your mouth.
Yeah.
Right? From a local. And come to find out he was like 5 years old when the last one happened. And so, of course, to him, it was the freaking Armageddon. It was one of the plagues, right? In Egypt. And so when it actually happened, there was just some around. And I was at a barbecue and some got on my legs,
Wow. You
And
survived.
I was just knocking,
you made it through it.
I was just knocking bugs off my gams, And that was about as bad as it got.
Yeah. Oh, goodness. Yeah, I mean, because they even said that around here. Southern Michigan, they were going to have a large wave, but I don't know if I saw a single cicada. Did you?
No, I didn't. I remember back in Chicago when I was a kid when the last one came through, and you could see the cicadas on the sidewalk and everything, but none of that happened this time.
Yeah, I wonder what the reason is. Is it climate change?
Yeah, that could be.
Are you an ally?
Are you? If you're an ally, there's only one answer to this question. You better get it right. Goodness, Brant. I want to know what your whale is, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know. I these last two episodes.
Dylan got to it quick this time.
No, I want to know because
he just wants to know.
I keep being held out on. Last time I didn't know until I asked Jane, and now I don't know until I ask you what your whale is.
Yeah, I was actually trying to keep it from you.
Oh, really?
Actively? Well, no.
You don't trust me? You don't trust me to talk about
No.
things?
No, I do. So my whale. What is my whale?
Okay, yeah.
So do you wanna know?
What's your whale?
What's my whale? Well, my whale of the week, we kind of just starting to touch on it, is relocating back to Illinois.
Hey! Moving.
Well, it's more than just moving. It's specifically this week. So I was there a few days ago, and I'm going back in a few days, and I'm trying to.
Yeah. When are you? Well, actually, I don't want to date this podcast. So yeah, you're leaving.
I'm just going. I'm going back in a few days.
Yeah.
Weeks time from being there, and
yeah.
while I was out there, I was starting to look at some apartments, and I was really excited to go see a few. And then when we were doing work out there in the city, talking to different people, and throughout the day, they all said, "No, you really ought to buy a house. You forget apartments.
Yeah.
Go buy a house." And so I come into mind looking at my first apartment that I've never really had to look at apartments before.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, man, this place is awful. It's not that bad. Especially compared to what people pay and live in DC, compared to that, it wasn't bad. But the thought of having a lot of space and a house, it made everything look a lot worse.
In comparison.
House. Yeah.
Well, are you trying to tell me that you're actually getting a house? Is that happening?
That's the plan.
Wow.
We'll see.
Homeowner Brant Cohen.
Can you believe it? No. I get my yard. I won't have a dog.
No, yeah. Well, Brant's allergic to. I just want to clarify. Brant's allergic to dogs. This is a good time if you need to blow your nose.
Well, thank you.
There's a reason why Lucy is not making an appearance in this episode.
Yeah, poor Brant. He's braving the toxic air in my basement full of dog hair.
I've been using no Kleenex, toilet paper instead. Only have toilet paper down here.
Yeah, we really only treat our guests the best possible, with the best possible toilet paper to accommodate their needs.
Man.
Oh man, yeah. Anyway, so you're going as far as to get a house.
Yeah.
Right. Now Shad and I both know this. Shad recently coming into a house.
Yes.
Right? This is also news for him. Really tough right now. Very hard. Market sucks.
Yeah.
Do you have a chance, dude? Like, are you have an opportunity? Are you just gonna freaking pull the trigger and see what happens?
Man, I'm terrified.
Well, I'm sure your employers are probably gonna help.
Yeah.
With the movement costs. And
yeah.
I'm sure that'll help quite a bit.
No, I mean, but when it comes to just getting a house in this market, right?
Well, right now it's not.
Do you have a plan, Brant? I need to know.
My plan. I have 3 realtors. I've got their phone numbers. That's where I'm starting. Yeah. So I said I was in Illinois last week, a few days ago. I'm going back in a few days. My goal is when I get back to have a few houses to tour. So I've got 3 days to find some house to look at to make the drive worth it.
Brant, this is the most Brant thing I've ever heard in my life.
Wait a second here, Dylan. You're not letting him establish the rules of engagement on his own whale. You're like, oh, wow, what's your whale, Brant? Oh, well, what's your plan, Brant?
It's my whale.
Question.
It's his whale.
Okay.
What is he actually interested in? It's obvious he's not interested in working to find a house. What is he actually interested in?
No. Okay, I'm sorry. I was trying to pull apart something for myself, for my own little twisted mind.
No, what I'm actually more interested in with the whole move, the house is part of it. I have to tackle what it means to be a homeowner, what it means to find a home and do it within a month.
Yeah.
But what I'm really looking at is the idea of relocating to a new area, a larger city, far away from all of my friends, even. It's not too far from where I grew up, but it's about 45 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's still, most of my friends are staying in our neck of the woods that are still out there. And so it's just trying to adapt to this whole new world and wrapping my mind around that within a month. Yeah. I've had a couple of months to prepare, but not, choosing house over apartment, relocating, finding a new community, getting plugged in. I'm not the first person to do this, but it certainly is new for me.
Yeah.
See, you've got what? You got to go. You got to find a church.
Yep.
Right.
A house.
Yes, a house. A house, a church. I'm saying this is getting plugged into a community.
Yeah.
Right. You got to find a church. You got to find, probably got to join the Rotary Club or whatever.
Oh yeah, I can transfer my membership. I already checked.
Join the Rotary Club. You gotta figure out where all the hot spots are.
Right. Gotta find the right park and a bench to sit on.
Yeah. Plenty of figure out where the pigeons are.
Oh yeah.
Go take a picture next to the bean, and then you're fully acclimated.
So what's the strategy then? How are you gonna try and plug in? What are some of the you know, are we going to go to a community hotspot and check out the bulletin board? You know, what are you trying to do?
Well, you're right on the church part. That's step one.
Church.
Church. Rotary's number 2.
No, excuse me, Chorch.
Yeah.
On this podcast, it's called Chorch.
Church. I think you can say it. Church.
There you go.
All right.
It's all.
So that's step 1. Step 2 is Rotary. That's going to come with it pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But I've always wanted to be on a rowing crew. Okay.
Brant.
Something I've always.
Okay. As what? As the guy who sits at the front?
The coxswain?
Yeah,
No.
you want to be the coxswain.
No,
right?
I want to row.
Look at your arms, dude.
Look at my shoulders.
Oh, you got good shoulders.
I have a huge upper body.
Yeah,
Dude, he's
yeah.
dense,
But like, have
man.
you seen a rower? Those guys are like, they look like
They're
the
live.
Thin Man.
I have not seen them. That's why I want to be on one.
Did you say they look like the Thin Man?
As in from
frickin' Charles from.
no, the Thin Man from that frickin' Stephen King adaptation Netflix movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about the Thin Man is in the detective,
Yeah.
classic film detective.
No. Interesting.
No? Okay, never mind.
Hey, God, so tell me more about rowing.
Yeah. Shad and I just beat our heads against one another.
I just watched.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but I've always wanted to try rowing. I haven't like you said. Yes, they probably are taller, thinner, longer arms.
Yeah.
I definitely have the upper body for it.
Yeah.
But it's something I've always wanted to try to do. It's not. I don't think it's going to be overly competitive. But the city I'm moving to is on a river.
Nice.
Very long river in Illinois, and so there is a rowing club about 20 minutes north of where I'm at.
So what you got to do is go to your local Y and find people there that want to do a rowing club, right? You get your Carol from HR, you get Timmy. Timmy, he's 7 years old and he wants to learn how to row.
And Carol is like 50s.
Yeah, Carol's in her 50s.
And then old Wombat. That guy.
Yeah.
This is a hodgepodge of a crew.
Yeah,
See,
exactly.
that way you feel, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
No, that's when you show up and you're like, I'm going to straighten these guys out. You're going to be like, turns out poetry is sort of like rapping. And you're like, oh, wrong part of Chicago.
not gonna work.
Nobody. The rules don't say you can't have a 7-year-old on your team. And you win the championship.
Yeah.
Oh man, well that would be fun if we could do that.
Why wouldn't you? What's it called? Coxman. Coxswain. Yeah. Why wouldn't you want to be a coxswain?
Because they just sit.
Yeah, but you gotta be. You got a booming voice. You got
sure.
some presence.
I mean, you're a part of the team, but you're not. And I mean, yes, it's an important part. You gotta call the rows. But like,
you gotta have good time.
Yeah. You gotta have timing. You gotta have energy. You gotta stare at everybody. But
you gotta be good at making eye contact and having it not be awkward.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Which is tough.
And sitting backwards in a narrow moving boat.
True.
Think about that.
That's true.
Good balance.
Yeah. I mean, let's just say, let's be frank. It's not like there's this huge want for them, though, right? For coxsmen?
Coxswains.
Yeah, it's not like
I could actually
wanted
be wrong
signs
on
all the
that.
time.
Yeah.
Josh, do not search coxsmen with the same search off. No, but I mean
it's something new that I want to try.
What you need to do in order to get into that club, though?
I've tried. They don't have a website.
Oh, boy.
So it's a little iffy.
You're gonna have to marry a member's daughter. I'm just saying.
I mean, hey,
that or kill a man.
Yeah. So your choice, as long as she's Catholic. Yo, what's up?
Yeah.
So it's coxswain. Looks like coxswain.
But looks like. Oh, so that's why I said coxswain. It's because it looks like coxswain.
Right,
but it's cox.
It's always.
But you have to be in the know. You gotta.
Yeah, I guess. I'm not rowing club material.
No,
apparently.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, in physical attributes withstanding, right?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You look like you could row.
Yeah, I was talking some serious crap on Brant there a second ago about whether or not he was physically capable of rowing, and that's because I'm coming from a place of being able to physically row.
Oh,
right.
Okay.
I see.
I'm not totally misinformed and talking out of my ass.
You're judging him on your own
objectively
against your merit.
Objectively as a award-winning coxman.
He's been there. He knows it. He knows exactly what it takes.
Knows exactly what it takes.
The Olympics knows his name.
Yeah.
They're always giving him a call.
So rowing.
So
rowing is
rowing.
one thing. Okay. Are there any other hobbies you want to transfer?
Well, there are sports hobbies. I was trying to learn while I was here golf and tennis and racquetball. So
Yes.
I have the
upper class sports.
I should be moving to the East Coast.
Yeah. There you go.
That's where my heart is.
Play at a country club for $5.
I'm ready for retirement.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, those are things that I think I'll have a better chance of at least getting to do out there.
Yeah.
As well as I also want to take a cooking class, more to just learn like a step above the basics of how to cook. You know, I've been cooking for myself the past several years. I think we all have. You know, it's just I want to do better than buying a chicken breast or frozen and then put a little seasoning on it and call that done.
Okay. So I haven't told this story yet. I'm not gonna say who the person is.
Yes.
But the person is listening right now, 100%. You know exactly who this is.
You know who you are.
I lived with an unidentified individual who, you know, like when Brant says, I take a chicken breast, I season it, and I cook it. You know, it's like you got some olive oil, you got some oregano, maybe some garlic salt,
a little salt,
anything really.
Anything really, you know, you put it in at 420, 450 for like 20 minutes tops. Take it out, you know, got a nice juicy low-cal meal, right? I lived with a guy who was so afraid of salmonella and so afraid of sodium intake that he would just throw a chicken breast on a pan, put the oven up to 450 and leave it in for 50 minutes.
Oh my God.
And then he would take it out, and then he would, while this was going on, he would cook a cup of rice in a rice cooker and pour a whole bag of frozen broccoli into the rice cooker.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And then cook those at the same time. Right? So by the time this is done,
his head.
Yeah, he's using his head, and by the time it's done, the broccoli is molecules. You know, it's just
it's mush.
It's mush. It's been the pressure cooker. Right? And then he just took the chicken breast, put it on top, took the bowl out of the rice cooker, took the chicken breast, put it on top, and then put barbecue sauce over. Oh, just hit my mic. Put barbecue sauce over the entire thing, and then just took out a fork and ate it. And then he would be sitting there in the living room complaining the entire time. He's like, oh, I don't know if I can finish this. He ate it every day. Every single day.
It's amazing what barbecue sauce can cover up.
It's true. It's true. But he was so, you know, that's the, I'm sure you're above this, but that is like the extremist bachelor mindset.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm going to actively try not to do this properly.
Right.
It's like, you know, that kind of weird tangent here, but people don't realize that high sodium intake, you know, people having heart disease and whatnot, is entirely because of processed foods.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's because people are eating processed foods. You can put as much salt as you want on your food. Everybody at home. Like, this happens all the time. People will come over to our house.
Yeah, so just to speak on that,
Yeah.
my wife's father,
Yeah.
right, Harry, you're probably listening,
Yeah.
put salt on his pizza, right? Okay, the man likes his salt, okay?
Yeah.
Both of you are holding your breaths over there. The man likes his salt, no sodium issues.
Yeah.
Right. Puts salt on everything. Whenever restaurant he's in, if he doesn't have a salt shaker, he asks for one. He always adds additional salt. Never has had.
You should salt stuff as much as it tastes good to you.
Yeah.
That's just and people will come over to our house sometimes and be like, "Wow, this is so powerful. It's so much flavor." And Beck will be like, it just put salt. It's put as much salt in. People were constantly trying. But anyway.
But see, now the difference though, in my house, we don't even have a salt shaker. Like when I grew up, didn't exist.
Wow.
Did
your mother put salt on the food though?
My dad cooked.
Oh.
And
egg on my face.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I am not an ally.
No, my dad cooked, and he always told me, he's like, as a chef, you're insulted if someone is putting salt on your food.
Yeah.
If you see that.
Salt in?
No. Anyway, he always felt he'd be offended by seeing someone do that, and so he always took a lot of pride in how he made his food, and he said it shouldn't need someone else at the table to decide, oh, yeah, you know what? I need more salt. You didn't do this right.
So devil's advocate here, though.
No.
Devil's advocate. What if it's not salty enough for me and I want more salt? Right.
Are you ready to insult the chef?
Well, no. So that's their problem because they're doing their judgment of the food on something that, you know, I have completely different taste buds. Right.
No, you're wrong. You're wrong here. Totally
That's
wrong
not
here.
True. That ain't true, brother.
No, I think it's wrong.
I think all I'm going to say is there are people I know.
Chefs on average salt more than the average individual. They oversalt.
Okay.
They do.
Right? Okay. They do oversalt. So this is not going to be a problem if the food is made properly.
But this is a hypothetical in which that does happen though, right?
Okay.
If I receive food I don't want somebody to be insulted because sometimes we go to a meal
Yeah.
and I don't know what to do because the food's not salted enough, right?
You don't know what to do.
Well, like, do I grab the salt and insult the person?
Yeah.
That just
salted.
Exactly.
Or you
That's
take
what
the
I'm
plate.
trying to say.
You take the plate around the corner.
Yeah.
Pull out a little packet of pocket salt and put it on there.
Or comically pour it into a potted plant.
Yeah,
while they're looking away.
Yeah. Okay. Kind of speaking on that briefly, Okay. You've probably all heard this one before, and everybody at home's heard this one before. When people are like, "Oh, you're gonna do a job interview that involves food," right?
Yeah.
And you'll always hear this story like, "Oh, this one guy once didn't hire a dude because he salted his food before he tasted it," right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. I go to diners. I go to restaurants.
Do you?
You can look at the food and be like, this dish needs salt. Like, you don't need to taste it. You don't need to taste it.
Exactly.
Or if the dish includes rice, right?
There's a pretty good chance that
It's going to need salt
on top
because
of it.
the rice soaks up the salt, and no matter how much you salt like a curry or something along those lines, you're always going to have to salt it in post and whatnot. But I like the idea of getting into a culinary argument with the person that you're interviewing. You're just like you're doing the salting, and then you're looking up at them. It's like, don't you dare give me a demerit for this. I know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm talking about.
I know where we are.
Yeah.
I know what's going on here.
Yeah.
Well, and I will say this. So just last week when I was in the new city I'm going to be living in, we went to a really nice restaurant, and I had duck. It was really
Oh,
Nice.
not a sign of a fantastic, but like
Yeah.
that doesn't mark a good restaurant. But
Yeah.
I had good duck there.
Nice.
Anyway,
Nice.
there was not a salt and pepper shaker on the table at this restaurant.
Yeah.
So in that situation,
Hey, Perry's there.
there
My
will be.
father-in-law. He says, "Can I get a salt shaker?"
Look,
Wow.
He makes it happen.
it's a gradient, right? It's when you're talking about early foods or like when you're talking about food
Like cavemen and lentils.
yeah, no, literally. If you're talking about lentils or you're talking about something that you're at a friend's house and they made you some pasta, right? Or you're eating a stone fire za or a stone fire wood fire. I'm sorry, I'm in caveman brain. Everything is rocks and bones. So you're doing that. You got but the second that you get into the culinary arts section, right? That's when it's a fully developed flavor.
Yeah.
You can't be making that leap, right?
I literally, what is this applying to? Or what are you talking about? Is that in regards?
I'm talking to like the salt shaker at the nice restaurant.
Okay, yeah, okay.
You've reached a mastery of cooking, and so you're
What if
expecting
I
the chef to be
taste it
right.
and I don't feel like there's enough salt on
So
it?
you think you're better than the chef?
Well, maybe
Then you
it
might as
doesn't
well
matter
go
if
back
I-
there
it
and
doesn't-
tell the chef.
It doesn't matter if I'm better than the chef.
Yeah.
Maybe I just prefer more salt on my food and I want to enjoy the food I paid for.
What if you say, sir, can I get a salt shaker? And then, breaks into a sweat. And he looks down and he's like,
I'm gonna get fired.
Monsieur, are you sure? And you say, yes, I would very much like one. Oui. And he goes into the back. And you go, what the hell? He wants salt! I'll get him salt! And then a guy in a big-ass hat walks out and punches you across the face. It's a possibility.
But
okay, it's a possibility.
Honestly,
But
that's
what if? You're not answering my what if.
That is-
What if I take it on the chin and I spit a tooth out of my mouth? And I stand up and I say, "You, monsieur, have lost a customer." And I walk out of the place.
Wow. You'd say good riddance.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, the way you describe that is in my mind as a kid what I imagined going to a restaurant.
What would happen?
Yeah, the way my dad said it, that's what I
Yeah.
pictured.
Yeah.
Was the chef getting angry, coming out from back and yelling at you,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
punching you across the face?
But, I mean, hey, if chefs can withstand people ordering their steaks like very well done at fancy steak restaurants very frequently, then they can withstand you asking if you want extra salt.
You know what though? So let me a slight tangent to this, okay?
Yeah.
So in Chicago, right? The Chicago
Back to
dog.
Chi-town.
I had to. We had
Giant beans, green rivers, as far as the eye can see.
it's a wild place.
It's a
Yeah.
wild
Let me
place.
tell you. Nowhere else like it on earth.
Yeah.
So you have the Chicago dog, right? You have
Yeah.
all the fixings on it. You got your sports pepper, your pickles, your tomato, your green relish. The lime green relish, right?
Poppy seed bun.
Poppy seed bun, the Vienna beef sausage right there.
Yeah.
It's Vienna? It's Vienna sausage? Wow, I didn't know that. Interesting.
Yeah. And Vienna beef. So
Okay.
anyway,
I know something else that was Austrian.
and then a little sour salt. But here's the point. There is a classic place outside Chicago called Super Dogs. It's been a hot dog place for 50, 60 years.
Shout out Super Dogs. They're getting free advertising here.
So they're
freaking bring up business.
They're fantastic. Anyway, long story short is you go there, you order from them, and if you ask for ketchup on it, they will not give it to you. They will not put it on there to appease modern America and taste. They will provide it in a packet, but they make it very clear that you have to apply it yourself.
Yeah,
they will not do it.
Well, so that's a certain thing, but at the same time, it can kind of get ridiculous. Like, imagine if you went to a like a McDonald's or something. Yeah. Right.
I don't have to imagine that.
Yeah. Or actually,
this fantasy land, I go to McDonald's.
Let's change that. You go to Cold Stone Creamery.
Okay.
Right.
All right. Yeah, that magical place.
You guys, right? I don't even have those anymore. But if they do,
we're talking about food. Josh is grabbing a cupcake.
Yeah. If you guys are familiar, their sizes are like it, love it, gotta have it, right? Mm-hmm. Imagine if you went in and you said, "I would like a small, please," and they say, "Small? What do you mean?" And you say, "I would like a small, please," and they're like, "Say it." Like a small, please. Say it. And you're like, "I like it." If it's in my mind, that's what that is to me. Yeah. Right? Is them kind of forcing their sort of weird marketing proclivities on you. It's like those places in Philly where if you don't order your sandwich right, they like cuss you out. If you're not one with cheese,
I think you're drawing. There's a distinction between pride in the food itself and that thing, and corporate branding. Yeah. So I think that's
It's true. I mean, but like the pride in the thing becomes the branding.
Yeah.
Right.
It's their shtick, but it's not like. I don't know. It's not 1,000 franchises telling you that you have to call it this because some guy in a room said this is fun.
Yeah.
It's this guy is
coffee size and grande.
Right. It's like this hot dog is designed without ketchup. It's meant to be that way.
Yeah.
You do that, and you're spitting on the tradition that is that hot dog.
Yeah.
If you say I'd like a small at Cold Stone, you're not spitting on their traditions of them. I don't know.
And the guy behind the desk behind the counter that's making minimum wage does not care.
Back to the person.
Yeah. The thing is, Brant, let's not have this as an argument in which I am said contra, because I am as pro gatekeeping as they come. So anything to keep people from eating hot dogs wrong, all for that.
Pro blood diamond.
Yeah. Unironically pro gatekeeping. Not even joking. I'm as pro gatekeeping as it comes. Yeah.
Wow. Well, so you're going to Chicago. A lot of self-improvement.
Yeah.
Is what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So far, you're going there. You're going to change yourself.
Absolutely.
Are you changing yourself for any particular reason? Why do you want to become better? You're a pretty great guy.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
thank you.
You're pretty good. What's the driving force, dude?
I just think it's a new opportunity. I think it's a new place.
It's like going to college.
Yeah, exactly. I'm reinventing myself. I get another chance. Yeah. Didn't work out the first time. I mean, I hope to meet more people.
Is it for the ladies?
Yeah, it might be. It might be.
Yeah. All right.
I mean, it is. Community has, I think, 2 or 3 different universities there, so that's a good opportunity to.
Where are you going with this?
To meet younger people in our age range and young professionals who are looking to stay and work.
Yeah.
Okay.
Brant is at a reasonable age to be saying this.
It's
FYI.
true.
Yeah. And
we
then
won't dox your age. But...
but then also the church communities are strong there, and there'll be a younger population of people my age at the churches out there, so it's a good opportunity to.
Yeah, and you were Catholic.
Yes.
Right? And you're looking for young Catholic people to hang out with.
Good plug here, everybody.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
Dylan has turned this to the dating game. I don't know if I'm comfortable with that.
No, I'm just saying.
Can we go back to putting salt on things?
I'm going to put salt on the wound that is the fact that you're looking for a young lady.
Yeah, I'm feeling it. No, I think it's a great opportunity, yes, to meet more people, but it's also, I mean, it's not just meeting someone to date, but it's also meeting friends. Because there is nobody that I know out there.
Yeah.
So,
or at least in that part of Chicago. You got some friends.
Yeah. I'll have to travel to see them and go downtown. I got some friends near Wrigley Field, hope to see, and go to some game stuff like that.
Hey, go and watch a Bears game, dude, in a Cubs. It's Cubs, isn't it? Cubs player field. Dude, I do try to do a hard freaking
You try.
read on that.
And also your Chicago impression, which everybody should have in the back pocket because that SNL skit was not even tried. You're like some Cubs, Bears,
sports, Chicago.
All right, yeah, crucify me. It's okay.
Yeah,
It's all right.
Well, anyway,
I deserve it. Anyway.
but yeah, no, I mean, there's a broad field of opportunity, and
Yeah.
I want to be able to find activities where I can hopefully meet more people, or like golf is a good opportunity. Either if I could join a golf league and just go with guys once a week, or groups and just go out there after work and play a round of golf. That's something that is casual. It's easy to meet more people. People are always looking for someone to fill a team. So
yeah, my favorite thing about golf is it's like bowling, where it's all about golfing. For those who are listening, I put quotation marks on there where it's like, everybody I know who golfs is like, I love golfing. You sneak some schnapps on the court, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I don't think what you were trying to do was golf.
Well, that's also golfing. And that right now, that's about the level
golfing
I'm at.
is a spectrum.
Golfing is a
When it comes
spectrum.
to how much golf you are playing.
Yeah.
It's a meter. On one end is alcoholism, and the other end is golfing, right?
Yeah.
And there's a sweet spot in the center there.
The sweet spot's kind of looking like you're on vacation, drinking, and happen to just be driving around with your buddies.
There's some
Honestly, you get a golf cart anywhere. And you
Yeah.
basically do what
Yeah,
you
practically.
Yeah,
Oh,
drinking
add
on
a-
a golf cart in your
Yeah.
backyard.
Yeah, add a
You're
Hawaiian
golfing,
shirt
dude.
and you're set.
Yeah, when
dude.
we were on a honeymoon in Key West, there was a lot of people who were just drunk out of their minds, just driving down the main drag in a golf cart. Like one person would be hanging out the back, screaming at people as we drove by.
Yeah, dude,
So-
it's crazy. There are no laws that prevent such a thing.
Yes, there are.
No, there are.
Really?
You, you can't drink and drive. That exists
It doesn't
everywhere.
matter if it's an object. You can get in trouble for drinking and driving on a skateboard. You can get in trouble for drinking and driving
This
on
is all
a
news.
red ride.
This is all news.
You don't know this?
This is all news.
We
You
don't-
could be. You
we're
could
not gonna
be
implicate you in
roller
anything.
skating under the influence. That's like a thing you can get arrested for.
You can also get fined if you're just sitting behind.
Hey, could you get on my computer real quick and delete some videos?
Delete some videos.
some videos.
Hey guys, welcome back to a sick drunk trip.
In a golf cart.
Yeah.
I'm Dylan Shadrach. This is Jackass. This is golf carting drama.
Yeah. No, I mean, it may not seem like it. I mean, there's no cops on golf courses, so
That's what I'm.
that's a little known thing about
Yeah.
golf courses. It's basically the purge.
Yeah. There are no.
But
That's
laws.
why there's only white people.
Yeah.
But they can kick you out, and you don't want to do that.
That's true. That's true.
Limits you to one less golf course out of the millions out there.
Yeah.
It's true. I think that's this is where rich white guys learn how to drunk drive and get away with it. Is on the
Have
golf
you guys
courses.
read that article? One of my favorite articles of all time. Yeah. So there's like this weird internet subculture that they pretend to be pro drunk driving, and somebody dug up an article from 1980, like 2 or 3, or I think 2 or 3, because I want to say 1984, but of course we'll stick in your mind because it's 1984. But where New York was changing its drunk driving laws and lowering the BAC levels because of moms against drunk driving. Mad. Which, if Mad had their way, the percentage would be 0%.
My mom was mad.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
And she had a little ribbon on her car.
nice.
On the little Dodge Caravan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was against drunk driving.
Yeah.
But anyway, it was a A1 opinion piece pro drunk driving that this guy wrote for the New York Times, and it is wild. It's awesome. I love it because he's like, I've been drunk driving for 25 years. Never once got in an accident. He's like, the difference is that nowadays kids don't know how to drink alcohol. Well, back in my day, if you were at a social function, no parent would say no if you said, hey, is it okay if I take a nip off your drink? And then over time, and eventually when you were like 16, they say, we'll buy you drinks. And then eventually you were so good at it that you could drive while doing it. And so it's 20 years later, and I have to say, every Saturday for the last 15 years, I've gone the entirety of Manhattan absolutely wasted. Never once got in a car accident. You're like, yeah, baby. This guy is living it.
Do you ever think this was an issue, like in the carriage and horse and carriage
Yeah.
day?
Yeah.
I guarantee it. Yeah.
I mean, but like, yeah,
No, people were arrested for it, and there's also like reported cases of. I forgot which president. The president got a speeding ticket.
It was Grant.
Grant.
Yeah.
Yeah, Grant got a speeding ticket. They still had.
Of course, Brant's namesake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's also from Illinois.
Oh.
Yeah. More you know.
It's just like Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Reagan.
And Reagan.
And
Even though California claims him, he was.
Yeah, he was born in.
And Barack Obama.
Childish Gambino? No, he's from Atlanta. Shoot.
You mean
Chance the
Kanye.
Rapper.
Wow!
Oh,
You should have brushed up on Chicago.
Oh,
Yeah.
I really. Speaking of this,
Gosh.
yeah, speaking of this, so we're out Wrigley Field.
If
The
you
Bears
guys-
are playing.
if you guys can play, if you guys can claim Reagan, then you can't claim Obama. He was born in Hawaii. It's because he was born in Kenya. No, because he was born in Hawaii. Because he was born in Hawaii. Right?
Yeah.
So-
The California claims him, but I always like to. I like to claim him.
Yeah.
I mean, he was.
Him personally.
He-
He doesn't speak for Chicago.
No.
Yeah,
he
yeah.
was. I mean, Reagan was in Illinois until he was out of college. So
Okay, yeah.
I mean, he was. That's at least 20+ years of life being formed there. I mean, and
Formed by the wheat fields and the crime.
Yes, and the
mainly
corruption
wheat fields.
Yeah, and the corruption.
If you ever go back to
explains so much.
if you go back to Reagan's hometown, there is still a lot of old women who are in nursing homes. I have a friend who lives out there who always talks about this. And
Yeah.
they always say, "Oh yeah, I remember seeing Reagan. I used to date him, or I wanted to. He was a lifeguard, so he saved me once." And no, he didn't.
Everybody's got a Reagan story.
Everyone's got a Reagan story.
Reagan story.
Yeah. Guys, speaking of Reagan stories, right? He had a lot of supporters, a lot of people who brought him to the top through their financial donations, donations of their time. And we're going to take this time right now to thank our Patreon boys and girls out there, right? That are throwing money our way, making this dream of ours happen. Helping this podcast go on. Want to make a big shout out to our top supporters, our lieutenants. We've got one right now. His name. Joe Papalardo. Thank you,
Joe
Joe.
Papalardo.
It really means a lot. You're really helping the show go
Yeah.
along. You are, at this point, paying for our hosting fees for the podcast. And so we're basically expense-free right now,
Yeah.
which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's all thanks to you. And, if you're interested, you can go on patreon.com/monomaniacs and donate there. And we've got special after-show episodes, as mentioned earlier
true.
on.
It's true.
If you really want to get more and more content. And,
Yeah.
and something else, which we're going to do for the first time, which we have an AMA tier where you can ask us questions.
Oh no!
And we'll answer them. That being said,
This is awfully tame for what I thought Joe would be bringing to the table.
Yeah.
Joe, you're able to ask more questions. Feel free to get a little harder.
He
on
just
it.
gave us one
Oh,
so
man.
far.
Yeah.
He says, now that both Dylan and Shad are married, how has that impacted your relationship as twins? That's his question.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, you're the newest married, the most recently married.
That's
of the
true.
two
So that
of
means
us.
I'm less qualified to answer the question. Go
Oh,
ahead.
shoot. Yeah, I mean, it's weird because I've always felt like since Shad moved back from DC because he was living in DC for a time and then came back to Michigan, I sort of felt like because when we would hang out together, we would hang out and Becca would be there.
Yeah.
Like it sort of felt like you guys had been married for a time, right? So it never felt as though there was a concrete separation between you guys getting married and not being married, right? As opposed, the obvious ones. But yeah, it was a very seamless transition for me personally. It's weird to not be like the married one anymore,
It's true.
right? Because it used to be like
You
if
can't
were-
hold that over me.
If you referred to the Strahles, it was always Abby and I.
Well, now what we can do is we can say, Brant, one of us is not like the other. Brant can be the new one who's doing it.
Yes.
There we go.
There you go.
Put me as the
Yeah,
odd man out.
unmarried guy.
No, I being a twin is a story of, and some twins, we have some very good friends who are twins who are, we have actually two sets of twins who still, are really close and stick together and kind of have, similar hobbies and kind of keep it going.
That were at the wedding.
They were at the wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Dylan and I have very similar hobbies, which I think is kind of apparent, but life in a lot of ways is a story of kind of breaking apart at a certain point when you're a twin, right? And that can be executed in multiple ways. It was executed fairly early for us, even though we ended up going to the same college.
Yeah.
But, we are separating from each other, right? And then just reconnecting with another person and kind of just traveling in parallels, right? Where, we're not like moving away from each other so much, but that, closeness and that, emotional intimacy is just something that doesn't exist anymore. In the same way.
That's pretty harsh, but it's true.
That's
It's
true. Right?
Yeah.
And now that's something that you look to your spouse for.
Yeah, I mean, because it's sort of like, I don't live with my twin.
Yeah.
I live with my wife, right?
That's
So
true.
just the amount of time.
Yep, that's true.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
The amount of time invested, right, and the amount of like experiences shared with one's significant other increases, as opposed to the time with your twin, which it doesn't increase at the same rate, and so you're sort of growing closer at different rates at this point, right? But we have a huge lead, of course, being just us two hanging out, so that it's kind of hard to overcome that big of a lead, but it happens more and more every day, and this is not a bad thing, right? No.
Actually, I have a question about this for you guys. I was thinking about this the other day. You two chose to live together in college your freshman year when you moved in.
Yeah.
Did it ever go through your mind to say, no, let's live with somebody else? I've spent my whole life with you. And
that happened my senior year.
Yeah.
We lived together the first 3 years.
No. But like in context of freshman year, like we go to high school, we shared a bedroom forever, right? Up even.
Look, no, Dylan's going to have some really long, stupid explanation for this. In all actuality, he was scared as hell.
No, I mean, we both were.
But we're just
we didn't want to roll the dice on a roommate.
We didn't want to roll it. That's all it was.
I did not want to have to deal with that.
I mean, you were lucky, you got Joe.
I got Joe.
Who asked that question.
Yeah.
By the way, that's with the connection
Patreon
there.
sponsor.
Yeah, Patreon sponsor Joe Papalardo. Chicken connoisseur Joe Papalardo.
Whoa! You put it out there. Woo! I think we all knew.
Everybody who knows the list of Shad's roommates knows that was probably Joe.
Yeah.
Oh goodness, but yeah, I mean, that was mostly the motivating factor.
You just didn't want a bad roommate.
Well, I'm going to ask you because you're an outside observer who knows both of us.
Sure.
And has been around for a time. I mean,
Yeah.
What was that transition like for you to see? Abby and I being the married ones, and then Shad entering into that space. Was there anything concrete that changed for you mentally? I know this is a weird question.
That's a super weird question.
You mean like, am I ready to get married?
No.
You're like, as far as like your, Shad Dylan fandom, how did that happen with your?
I don't know. It's like any other time a friend gets married, right?
No, I'll just say you stayed around and Shad left and then he came back, and it's wonderful to have Shad back, and it's like the team is back together and it's fun.
Well, he's got to have a party animal around him,
Yeah.
Lauren knows you're not showing up to the.
I know he shows up.
Yeah, I can't fulfill that need for you. I'm sorry. I had to bring Shad into the relationship in order to remedy that situation.
And it's been remedied.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm happy for you too. I'm happy for what it's become. No, yeah. I mean, I think that's all there really is to it at this point. I mean, it's very early on in the process, obviously. So, I mean, most likely you had a longer time thinking about me as your married brother,
I guess,
because I didn't really like differentiate you because you were still Shad, my twin, right up until you got married. So a longer period of time of that separation, I guess.
I mean, he's still Shad, your twin.
It's true.
I am still Shad, your twin.
Rip.
I will say also at your wedding, you guys looked.
Shad's wedding.
Yes,
for the audio listeners.
I looked at Shad. Shad, at your wedding, you guys looked very similar.
Yeah. Well, it has to do with me losing a ton of weight over the last couple of years, and Dylan gaining weight because he's married. And now I'm starting to gain weight again. Although I got sick this week and just lost like 8 pounds in 24 hours. It was wild.
Oh, dude, that sucks.
Would highly recommend it. Not
stomach flu,
That.
right?
Yeah. Don't get a stomach flu.
Been there. I lost 10 pounds.
Yeah. I always say this, and this sounds psychotic every time I say it. So I guess I'm gonna just record it for the world to see. There's a certain period of time that passes for me when I start to look fondly on being sick because I haven't been sick for so long. Where I'm like, oh man, wouldn't it be nice to just sit in bed all day? Not have to worry about anything.
I had unresolved health problems for like a year and a half. Never again. Yeah. And like now, I get sick all the time because my wife works with children, and those things are little germ factories. And like, if married couples who have young kids, like our producer, right? You're sick more often because kids are still working through their immune systems, and they're picking up stuff at school and etc. And so, I mean, that's the reason I got the stomach flu is because one of Becca's, kids that she takes care of got stomach flu, and I was like, I wasn't even a part of this contract.
Yeah.
I kept looking over at her, rolling over, just needing to throw up, and I was like, "You did this to me." I'm just doing that so that when she's in labor and says that to me, that I can.
Oh, you can do that again.
Yeah.
Strike back.
Yeah.
Reverse.
No, I was talking to a friend who his wife was in labor and he was there, and she just like with the most just full of the greatest rage he had ever seen. Just like, you did this to me. It's just so mad. It's like everybody does the labor thing differently, but for her it was just like, I'm going to be angry at you right now. Utter hatred.
Fire in the
But
eyes.
but when you were sick and you really couldn't eat anything,
Yeah.
did everything smell like food smelled really good, like better than usual?
No.
Okay. Well then.
Yeah.
I don't know. I had senior year of college. I had some sort of stomach flu that lasted for about 4 or 5 days.
Yeah.
And I ended up going I was a third wheel on a date with a couple people to one of the restaurants here in town, and all I could order was basic broth.
Nice.
And I asked her, the waitress, I said, do you have anything like
broth?
And she's like, she literally said to me, what's wrong with you? And I said, I'm just looking for broth. And she's like, no, I mean, like, are you sick? What's wrong with you? I'm like, oh, I have a stomach problem. Oh, okay. Here, I get you some rolls.
Yeah. Well, so this is Hillsdale County, where like you'll sit down and be like, is there a healthy option?
Yeah.
Is it even possible to eat something
without carbs in it?
Yeah.
Oh no, I mean, okay, so this is gonna be a little bit, I don't know, this might be sort of more of a Patreon conversation, but are you a loud puker? Because I am a really loud puker, and so is our father. So, and I'm talking like I go to the toilet, I'm like, "Ah!"
Make sure everybody knows.
Yeah. Literally, it's literally that loud. I just like yell.
I'm not a loud puker.
You're not a loud puker?
No.
My wife despises me for it.
I do yell.
Yeah.
But it's in between puking, and it's usually expletives.
Oh, okay.
At the fact that I'm puking.
Yeah.
But no.
No, yeah, I just scream puke, yeah. So does Dad, apparently, yeah.
You must be a hit at parties.
Yeah. I'm not drinking that much at parties.
That's why he's not the party animal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go.
They have
They won't let me
You
at
haven't-
parties.
No, they stopped.
Just
Just loud pukers in the corner.
Out, dude. Can't have you around.
Oh, gosh.
Just water for me. I don't want to be thrown out again. Nah, yeah. I'm sorry I admitted that over a live.
No, that's a good detail to have,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Although I feel like that's something more the Patreon subscribers would want to know.
It's
because
true.
you're more likely to want to know more about us if you're in the Patreon, right? But
yeah.
Oh, little gratuitous fact about Dylan.
Yeah. A gratuitous. No, it's important to my being.
Yeah.
Right? To understand
so that in the year 2055, when there's some bar trivia and you're on Time Magazine's cover man of the year, somebody says, "What's who among these guys is a loud puker? John Travolta, Pol Pot, Dylan Shadrach." And you're like, "Oh, my money says Pol Pot, but I doubt he was puking much."
I'm gonna go with John Travolta.
Ooh, you'd be
not
wrong.
Correct. Not correct.
Oh, you might be right. Actually, I mean, do you know?
No, I don't
Yeah,
know.
you
don't know?
No, I have never met John.
Josh, look it up. No.
John Travolta, loud puker.
Yeah.
There's a loud puking database actually. Just catalogs all the loud pukers.
And
What the hell is this? What are we?
Right.
What is this?
I don't even know.
Guys, what are we at time was?
Where are we at?
53.
What'd you say?
53.
53.
Oh,
Wow,
oh,
we got
gosh.
7 minutes. Yeah, this
Well-
is just flying by.
Yeah.
Actually, I had one little short story I was going to throw back. It's
Yeah.
super quick. When we're talking about golf carts and drunk driving.
Yeah.
Sorry. So when I was like 12 or something, we the local police department was doing a drunk driving in a golf cart simulation. They had like the drunk goggles.
Oh yeah,
we did
nice.
the golf cart.
Yeah, and they had a bunch of cones, and so I was 12. I've never driven anything at that point in my life, and so I'm like, well, I can drive a golf cart. So I sit behind the wheel. My dad's next to me, and they don't give me the goggles. They said, let's just see how you can do without them. I hit every cone.
Nice.
I mean, it was a mess of a course. And the officer came up to me and said, can I try the goggles? I was serious. He said, no.
Yeah.
No, you.
My favorite thing about those goggles, though, is that it makes whatever activity they attach it to, makes the you go into it thinking, oh man, this would be fun as hell if I was drunk. Turns out this is awesome.
When you said they were
Driving
doing
was not.
When they were doing a drunk driving simulation, I thought you meant they were just had a guy who was drunk driving it to show you
what
what
it's
it was
like.
like for a drunk guy to drive.
No, they let kids do it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So they're like, kids, this is Jägermeister.
Yeah. This is the Jägermeister goggles, sponsored by.
Okay, real quick. You're a Chicago guy.
Yeah.
Malort.
Yeah, I got a bottle.
Yeah. Yay, nay.
I don't like it, but I love having everyone else have it.
See, that's the thing about Chicagoans, man. Nobody likes it.
No, but I went into the liquor store to buy a bottle.
For those that know, don't know, what's Malort?
It's a wormwood liqueur.
Yep.
And it tastes
It's Chicago
terrible
speciality.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
I don't mind the upfront taste. I actually don't.
Yeah.
It's the
'Cause
fact
it's
that
anise. It's just licorice.
yeah.
Wait, what are you looking at me? You're like,
Anyway, I don't mind the upfront taste, but the fact that it stays, it lingers, and there's no chaser. There's nothing you can do to get rid of the lingering taste. It's
the aftertaste of gasoline.
Yes,
right.
and it stays for a long time. That's what I hate.
And Chicagoans just love to just be, sadists about it.
Yeah.
Just be like, you gotta try me, Lord.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I tried it, I was at a party and. This really drunk, short Greek guy. I don't know who.
Wow.
Showed up and he was like, "You gotta try Malort." And I was like, "Okay." It took a little bit. I almost wanted to throw up. It's terrible.
I'm surprised you didn't.
Dude, I have a Stockholm
Did you throw up?
syndrome.
Because we would have heard.
No. Well, you were there. For a second.
Yeah.
I have a Stockholm syndrome with it. I haven't had it for a while. I'm like, I guess some Malort.
Yeah, I've since had it and just you power through.
Come on
you're an
over.
adult.
Dude, before you leave, we got to take some Malort shots.
Well, you
Send me
do.
off. Oh, okay. All right, okay. Next Chicago question: which deep dish pizza is the best deep dish pizza?
Well, apparently, it's not as popular of an opinion.
Okay, all right. Already your preface is
No.
going too far into
I love Gino's East.
Gut read.
I love Gino's East. That's it.
Okay.
When I'm in the city,
I don't know enough about deep dish to tell if that's a bad
Well,
take or not.
no.
So.
When I'm in the city, it's Gino's East. When I'm in the suburbs, it's Limo Notti's. And when I'm
Yeah.
in my hometown, it's a hometown pizza place.
Okay.
And I love it.
All right.
And so that's it.
Al's or Portillo's?
Al's or what?
Portillo's?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Portillo's. It sounded like you said Perdillos.
Portillo's.
Portillo's.
Al's or Portillo's?
Al's.
For beef?
For beef.
Okay.
Okay.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah.
Is there some person?
There's also another very short
Yeah.
Greek guy. There's a totally different short Greek guy.
Yeah.
No. Al's is a good choice for Italian beef.
Okay. Good. All right. Are there other things you know about Chicago we could ask him just real quick to have a hot take on before?
Can I ask Dylan, where do the Bears play?
Josh, where?
Soldier Field.
Soldier Field.
Soldier
Soldier.
Field.
I couldn't
In honor of the soldiers.
Man, he pulled
That's
the
what,
audience.
that's what they would say at a Bears game, a strikeout. Right now. A strikeout.
The Bears game.
Okay, well, which socks? So
Socks?
your Bears over Sox then?
What?
Cubs over Sox. Dylan is this is all Dylan. This is not me. I promise.
Oh my God.
It's all Dylan.
Cubs.
That's
Absolutely the Cubs.
We know so much about Chicago. Is the Green River an ecological disaster?
Yeah.
No. It's good. It's safe.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's safe.
So does did according to the night that Chicago died, there is a west side or east side of Chicago. What's it like there?
You mean sleeping on the beach?
Yeah.
It's great in the summer.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, the band Chicago.
I like him.
Yeah.
I like him.
Bad take, but it's fine.
That's not a bad thing.
It's okay. You have patriotism involved. It's fine. You can have a bad take, right? It's like the fact that we think the Star Spangled Banner is good. It's like
Whoa.
As far as anthems go, USSR had a better anthem, dude.
yeah, I'd say that unironically. If you listen to the anthems, they're pretty cool. There's some really dope ones.
Yeah.
Ours is very sweeping. Although it'll get a tear in my eye.
Yeah, a little,
yeah.
Little
sniffle?
I need a piece of paper towel.
Toilet
or
paper?
Toilet paper.
I dropped the roll, it rolled away, so.
His nose is full.
It is
Oh
gone.
yeah, it just does not want to go. Yeah.
No.
Okay. Okay. We got to hit him with a kicker on a Chicago-based question.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm trying to think. Any more Chicago-based questions?
I know about
Best Kanye West album.
Jesus is King.
Ah, come on. All right, guys. This has been Monomaniacs.